All right, guys, it's the hottest day of the year. So what are we doing today? We're baking, because clearly I'm insane. Hey, welcome back to Cooking Ain't Complicated. My name's Chef Saint. I want to thank you guys for coming back with me. And today we went berry picking. We got some of the most beautiful, beautiful strawberries from our local berry farm here. Bought about 10 pounds of them, so I don't even know what I'm going to do with them all. But I know what I'm going to do with these. We're making a chocolate strawberry tart. Now, I was going to make a strawberry tart just because the strawberries are so fresh and so in season, but I was trying to think of something that's complementary to a strawberry. It's like, oh, you know, peaches and pears and whatever fruits, and it's like, wait a minute, chocolate. Perfect. Chocolate strawberry tart. It's going to be fantastic. We got some 65% cacao here. We got fresh farm eggs, heavy cream, some fresh raw honey. It's about to go down in this kitchen, and it might as well, because it's going to be hotter than hell. Let's get to it. All right, so I got my oven preheating. It's ridiculously hot in this kitchen. It's about 115 degrees outside. No, it's probably not. It's probably around 100, but it's hot. So hot I probably shouldn't be baking today, but as I said, we're crazy. So here's what we're gonna do. All of this in order to make a nice, cool, wonderful tart, but you gotta go through hell to get to heaven, am I right? All right, so we've got our pie pan here. We're gonna lay a little butter in that, which you don't need to put in the microwave, I guarantee you. It's perfectly soft all on its own. We're just gonna lay a thin layer of that inside the pan because we want this to come out when it's done, but we also want it to flavor the outside of that pie crust. Now, I just went with a store-bought pie crust this time. You can make your own if you feel that ambitious on what is ostensibly the hottest day of the year. Go for it, whatever. Now I'm going to sprinkle just some regular sugar in there. What that's going to do, it's going to add to the no stick effect, but it's also going to kind of glaze onto the bottom of that crust and just kind of give it a bit of a sweet taste, little texture, just like that. Nothing big. And then we're going to unroll our pie crust just like that. And don't worry if it's not 100% perfect like that. Apparently, it's a little warm for pie crust today. That's okay. Pie crust goes right back together, so don't fret, don't frown. I'm gonna lay that in there. And you just kind of want to crimp it a little bit around the edges. Make sure it fills up everywhere you want it to fill up. And if you get little holes or runners in it, it's not going to matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. Tarts aren't meant to look 100% uniform. It's like an organic thing. You want it to kind of have a little character, a little personality. All tarts are beautiful, in my opinion. So, now that we got that, we're going to take a regular fork, and you're going to want to poke some holes just to aerate it a little bit. We get some in the side as well. And then we're going to pop that into a 350 degree oven. I know, right? 350 degrees for about 10 to 11 minutes till it's about the consistency we're looking for, and then we'll fill it. All right, now while our pie tart shell is cooling, we're going to go ahead and process some strawberries. Now what I want to do is kind of lay them over the top of this in like a overlapping fashion. So we're going to want thin slices. I could take it to the mandolin, but I feel like that would just create a lot of strawberry juice and a lot of mess. So we're just going to kind of cut some thin slices like that. All right, there we go. Nice thin slices, very juicy looking, shiny, wonderful. We're going to start working on our filling right now, and then we'll get to filling the tart up. All right, let's increase the heat in the kitchen a little bit because I'm not sweating nearly enough. We're gonna take 1.25 cups of heavy cream, throw that into a saucepan. Now you wanna keep that moving pretty thoroughly. You don't wanna let that sit too much because it'll scorch, and that's not what we're looking to do. But while we're moving that around, you wanna take your chocolate chips. This is some 65% cacao. Yeah, dark chocolate, fantastic. You don't really wanna go above 65% because then it gets a little crumblier, a little less smooth. So the object here is to bring the heavy cream to a boil. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour that over the top of the chocolate chips and let that melt your chocolate. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff while I do it. We're going to crack 2 eggs into a separate bowl. 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, or I'm sorry, let's try that again. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, don't get that mixed up. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we're just about where we need to be temperature-wise on that. Let's get ourselves a rubber spatula. Again, keep it moving. Milk and cream and all those base products will scorch almost immediately. All right, you can see we're at that boil. Take that off the boil. I'm gonna pour that directly onto those chocolate chips. Not that it's not hot enough in this kitchen to melt the chocolate without it. Trust me. But rules is rules. So while we let that steep for a second, go ahead and crack our eggs. Little tiny piece of shell, get out of there. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use imitation. I don't prefer it. That's just me. Okay. I already threw that whisk in the sink, so we'll go for another whisk. It's the day of 1,000 whisks. Okay. And we're just going to kind of fold the chocolate now. You see how that's melting out perfectly, beautifully. And the ultimate goal here is to make something that's kind of like a ganache filling. Really smooth, like a truffle. That's the goal anyway. It's worked before. I'm hoping it works again. Just keep incorporating it. It's going to start looking like the world's best glass of hot chocolate, which again, on a day like today is monstrous. But get our whisk moving around in there. See how it's starting to thicken up like that? That's exactly what you're looking for. To the consistency of warm pudding. Take a look at that. See that there? And then we'll go ahead and we'll whisk in our eggs. sugar or egg, salt, and vanilla mixture there. And just keep going with that until it's nice and incorporated. It smells amazing. Look at that. Creamy, thick, delicious. All right. So now we're going to take our wonderfully cooled pie shell. Now you can see again, like I said, every pie shell is beautiful. Every tort is beautiful. Tart, I should say. It's a little rough around the edges, but it's not going to matter when you eat it. Just pour that bad boy in there. Okay. Lick the chocolate off your fingers. Probably shouldn't, because it's got raw egg in it, but I bet you it's cooked by now. Kind of roll it around a little bit to make sure nice and even. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put that into a 350-degree oven until it's firm, about 3 inches in. You want to make sure that it's a little bit wobbly in the center. You don't want it to be firm all the way throughout, or it's going to be overcooked. So let's start with about 10 minutes. We'll check it after that point. We'll adjust our times as needed. So about a 350-degree oven. We'll get it rolling. All right, so now it's cool. We've let it set for a little while. It's nice and firm. I wouldn't put too much pressure on it, but it's equally firm across the whole thing. So that's what we're looking for. See, nothing came off on my fingers. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna layer the strawberries on it. And we're just going to kind of go into a bit of an alternating pattern just to kind of make it look pretty. You know what? I want to get to eating this. So we're just going to put them on there. We're going to put them on. This is my impatience shining through, guys. And I hope you'll forgive that when you taste what this tastes like. Now you can do that. Alternate them, make a pretty pattern and all that. I was going to. I had it in my head that I was going to do that. But ain't nobody got time for that. The kitchen's finally cooling down. I got a beer in the fridge. I'm ready to sit down and relax. So, strawberry it up. Spread them out nice and evenly. We want that to be equal across the board there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to brush it down with a little fresh raw honey. I got the honey from the same place that I got the berries from. Spooner Farms in Olympia, if you're local. I've let this sit on the counter all day to get this nice runny consistency. It's perfect. Dip your brush in and just kind of brush that over. See, now if I had made a pattern with these, it would have knocked it all out of alignment and that would have been sad. Now nobody's sad. Just a little bit. You don't want to overwhelm it with the honey. You just kind of want that shine. Like that. And now, what I'm going to do, I got a chocolate sauce as well. Ghirardelli's, I spent a little extra. You can go just as well with the Hershey's. Don't laugh at me. There we go. I want to make sure it didn't explode on me. It's been so warm in this kitchen. Dark chocolate is the best. So we'll just now we'll get a nice swirly pattern on there. Like that. Perfect. Coming up, we're going to plate the final piece. We'll wrap it all up. So we have our finished tart. It smells amazing. It looks amazing. I can't wait to dig in. I don't even know where to begin on this thing. Let's take a slice right out of it. It's kind of like when you do a berry cheesecake, where it's overflowing with berries. Kind of cross my fingers here. Hope this comes out. Just like that. Only lost a couple strawberries. That's all right. Give it a little pinch of confectioner's sugar over the top. Last but not least, I lost my scissors. It's all right. And there we have it, folks. Very simple, easy to make chocolate tart, excuse me, I keep saying tort. Similar. Chocolate tart, glazed strawberries on top, nice and fresh. Take a look at that. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. And it's truly like they say, food is art. You just get to eat it when you're done with it. Thanks for coming back to Cooking Ain't Complicated. I hope you stick around. If you like what you see, comment, throw some comments in, throw a like on our Facebook page, subscribe. We'll see you back again next week. Hottest day of the goddamn year.